Alright, so I'm gonna read Hekate Station Book 1. And I'm gonna add the photos and stuff. Note that this is not a one-for-one transcript. I have rewritten it to be more readable. So page 1, intro. April Prima 77. The following text is my first major automatic writing. It bothers me far more than the other texts. I'd even go as far as suggesting it be read last. Yet, I felt I had to include it first in the interest of maintaining some sense of chronological order. Earlier automatic writings I did were not reverse text, and just boiled down to me writing fast until I got tired. I found it impossible to stop thinking about what I was writing. Gonna have to edit out these yawns. Those texts didn't say anything new to me. Then one time I found myself writing a mirror text, my hand just moving to record symbols. The results were Libro Prima 77, and was written in one sitting. I was exhausted when it was finally over, and I had no idea what I had written. I tried to read it, holding it up for a mirror, but I would give up after a page or two. That deeply bothered me to even look at it. I ended up scanning it and mirror flipping the PDF to read it. It still bugs me for another reasons. There seem to be at least 3 voices involved. One voice is hard to take seriously, like it's explaining a game is tired of playing to me. One seems to be kind of ticked off all the time and wants to share alternate insights into the topics it cares about. And another voice, the one that bugs me the most, sounds like someone pretending to be me. I still can't handle Libro 77 as a text. I've removed it for now. Other texts had some merit. This one was just a ragged whirlwind, awkward and lost. The fact that the second one listed was Smyrna is the only part that intrigues me anymore. So yeah, the only way you can read this is through a Wayback Machine. Hespera, Samara, Fuke. I think this may be a bad sign. A fairly complete break with the way things are supposed to be. Someone else is doing the writing. They seem so matter-of-fact about it, that's the scary part. Where to begin my tales? It seemed as well not a joke, not a hoax, but another project of admittedly demonic herding. Golems, an army of them. What's not to like? Counterfeit slaves, unreal little anti-elves. It's not great that I dig for them. I think of them as wounds inside the moon we call the world. There are these adults up there on Emmett Hill, yet up with you. It started centuries ago, maybe more, a generational curse. They didn't think of it as such, more about the deal. There are a couple centuries of souls in exchange for endless decodes of cold cash. The elder smell of each generation would be richer than all the others pulled together. It must have seemed a fair deal. The loophole now too evident in poverty for all the others, leading to a net family loss. I, your humble host, and the richest of my era, since the others are so poor. But I have the, let's call it, ghost, so I won't be too scared. Enough for us statistically confused. The first generation was very rich already when the deal was made. Then the slippage began. It seemed to be the end of the line by basing my design mind you, it's not, I'm deliberately childish. Nowhere for the Helger to go but free. The mother skeleton was the crown of degradation. It's not her litter breed made to seek. The infants tore not too soon, but at just the right time to ensure her bonding with them. Her hands severed and kept with the wealth, so they too miss their touch when they are dispersed about Emmett Hill. How I came to this knowledge of how to shepherd them to undead status? 'Twas not I. 'Twas the family that the family curse occurred. He knew the past, the words, and the ways. From its past to my... Wait. I have no future, so that can't be the source. Maybe from the outside it is. Bottom line is... act according to a script written by it. Have phantoms not out of choice? I want to believe their flickering flesh untouchable, but enticing all the same. I react all the same. They clearly look my way with flat... They clearly look my way with flat interdimensional eyes, while wearing shadows of holes, illusions of mounds, arms that can't hug, but sports hands that part bits. It approves of this. I wonder why. And Smyrna, this town? It has a fixation with something that happened there. Something bad, Smyrna. A horse, oddly enough. Tomorrow I will try something new. Dependency drives me here, and fear. The first major goal may lie in a bad spot, and it's not interned enough. I will go survey and move or rebury. I hope to just dig it in deeper. I worry how he'll take this sudden return to a world where air and not dirt is the basing museum of all of one's surveys. He may fight it. More of the unborn are arriving each day. They know the world below awaits them. I think not on a conscious level. Hell, I don't really know what. The familiar informs me they will know and wish to be part of their new family of sailed soldiers. Sand souls for reasons of their own reasons. I'd be happier enough fathoming that I sense a trap being set to ensure a future I want to be here for. Some pages can't be unturned. The death of mother chokes them not. It's the embryonic fluid of the newly damned and the eternally unresting undead, alike darkness of the below, that fills the nose and lungs palpably. Feel it now. A mouth filled with dirt forever, then the slow inch of a worm moving across a bone. You can't move or breathe to see. They live there. He seemed more dazed than angry when I dug him back up, so I reburied him much deeper and covered him with large rocks. I gave him a friend this time and a gopher skull. Hekate watched usually. It's mob. I found a sword for the newly buried friend, unburied for the next 10 hours, to hold. I let the red sword yielding Golemite show his blade to the others. That sounds kinky. While it was disturbing, it wasn't sexual. Then I buried him like the rest. He is the lowest black cat lover to the highest, at this writing. So popular were the swords I ordered more black ones. A whole crate of them. There are spiders and pumpkins and arrows of judgment and taste, but there is no promise of peace, let alone joy for love. I'm guessing when they awaken, they'll gravitate towards the totems they've buried with. This may come as some surprise. No, this may cause some surprise to those they visit. Those holy arts they gravitate to gawk open mouths at waving their sabers around in a mockery of glee. Skirt of swords. It's a image description. Wait, what was it again? Image. I forget the word. The thought being that things that surround them in sleep they'll gravitate towards once awoken. Actually, why this is desired has not been revealed to me as of yet. 52 souls lie in wait on Emmett Hill. Some more tormented to dangerous levels of unstable rage. When they are allowed to emerge, they'll seek the totems. The trails I need blaze next trip are very steep. I hear a dirge farther afield. I go. Darkness hugs my eyes. Grey dust makes mud in my lungs. Above ground, burial alive. A doctor's wife dies of a disease he is paid to study. Snow falls. A pirate in the desert. Sand everywhere, but not a drip. The back of my hands are turning to crepe paper. My thighs were as patches of red precancerous mess lichen unto me. Soon my skin will make me want out of it. I'll die. 6 of them. That is my goal. Okay, her goal? Or him? I'm confused about that. Not confused about the gender of either of the two, but at times unsure of who wants it to be 6. Mob lives up there. I need to leave her regals. The family familiar directs the golem's future. With a desire for 6 like now? I shouldn't wonder. I'll take the gifts gladly and not notice. I need to not seem ungrateful. So there I am, burying a body, and I look up, and on the ridge west of me are these 2 Vacros in the white tees and dark shorts. One of them is the top of Boulder, waving his arms around like a surrounded sailor, but I'm not sure if they saw me. They were outlined by the horizon on the top of crest, wearing white extra large tees. I was below them among some rocks, wearing all black. But they could have been watching me for a while. I'm not sure. I was busy with the interning. If they'd been looking my way and had noticed me, I think they'd have got an eyeful. But I don't think they saw me. They advanced the hillock and passed on the west side of it away from me. I took that opportunity to skedaddle downhill, putting distance between me and the plot. Then, weirdness. Around the hillock from the south side, the direction I was going, came a pair of mule deer. They halted when they noticed me. I kept descending. They shifted position slightly uphill, then kept coming my way, and when I was there, we rarely passed each other. Only much later did I realize the 2 vates had turned into deer. Up on a hill, I was above the fog the city was hid beneath. The cold blue-gray, the freeway sound, not divorced from visual concentration of its source, seemed instead to be the roar of a mechanical leg breaking below me, below the clouds. The goal seemed to be 51 golems. At the falls right now, there are 3 camps. 1. The ancient, small, but very strong and hard to damage. May have been mostly. Not sure where they come from. Some have actual tombs, buried up weapons, but with treasure, strength, old wisdom. Tough for size. Weaknesses, few in numbers, some crypts already robbed. Some seem cursed, buried, yoked to beasts with or without heads. No, they are the elder race. They know something. They are wise, but beware they have, while many have angered someone, or something powerful enough to blind them, what the hell was it? Do they even know? Will they tell alignment? Neutral for now, but probably not a good option a lie until the past is understandable. This may be never processed at your own risk and bearings. 2. The three and their children. Where to begin? The three are by far the largest and strongest, plus they are intelligent to the extent of sentience. They have a great deal of will, much greater than the alleged levels of the ancient unknown lore. Strength, strong, take huge amounts of damage, smart boarding of an animal life, cunning, have loyal children as allies, some armed. First among the three oldest, only one to have been exhumed and interned burial site precariously of favorite for first to be found. Reinterred was a child and a gopher skull. Made with sky fetishes unclear. Plain. Eats gold? Second among the three is sky blue. No, first color is black. Wizards made father to all the three spawn. Unclear why one child was number one. Still, three is blue-headed. Children exist and that are accepted as his prodigy. He watches the sky, rumored to know spells and words and lore. Most likely, if anyone knows how the ancients should be approached, it's him. The mother, angry and wants those kids back. Wrathful, violent, one arm steeped in blood, unsleeping. Not to be trifled with. Most feared in a fight of all, only Golem known to have procreated her colored red. The children ripped too soon from her womb. The children number 16. They have the talisman totem. Some are, despite the lore she of the casts, a couple of disciples of Hekate, a number of guard-toting neo-druids. He is of the red sword. The twins in the fencing ballroom, that's only 13. Three are for now forgotten. Three look to be the sons of Stargazer. No, forgotten three are deterror-bound. They are the smallest, they are the most brittle than their peers, but they have unique charms with spells. Some are armed. Their main strength, the aid and watchful eyes of the three, lending them equal parts of the strength, magic, and rage. Destiny seems to favor them. They have enemies. The enemies didn't start out that way. It was not the plan. They were just to be next. Something went wrong, but it may not be an irreversible state. At least they all may have a common enemy, so they'll not be at odds. The Anti-3. Blood Maw. Like all the Anti-3, Blood Maw is much larger than the children of the ancients. When not as tall as the three, nor as strong. They aren't as durable either, but can take a beating too in a collapsible way. They aren't as smart as the three and are barely alive compared to the free-willed three. On the other hand, the Anti-3 have steel rocket bolt weapons, melee, and in swimmers they can fly in a cloud floating away. Zeppelin-like maneuvering. Still, this is a handy feature. Back to Blood Maw in particular, colors red and green. He knows where the twins' hideout is in the layout under the land, he says. He was first to fly by his head damaged. He is always hungry. But aren't they all green, the corrupter? Perverts, sickness, tainter of all he molests. Said to ask victims to bind themselves with a red cord. Not to be confused with Scream's top knot, which is in fact black like those as all the Anti-3. Color decay in his eyes like the other two. Also yields a pair of golden bolts. Firehead, weapons master of the 32 Trailing. Other than that, little else is known to me. Color red likes knives. The 32 Trailing slaves that the Anti-3 kept bound when not in martial arts training. Some devote early to one of the Anti-3 as voted by outward manifest, yet those that choose a separate path can follow it within the limits of the Anti-3 needed. The 32 are just slightly larger than the children and a tad sturdier. It is hoped that they have yet rip flaw. Strength, numbers, factor, most spend much time training berserk from Red Firehead and being bent badly by grains in ways unnatural. The offspring of decay and the Nightblood spawned weird sisters, their sight nutless by the uneaten, who brought his siblings to light in a sea of vomit. Father Time began unwillingly, an Earth's mother, a maiden, and a hag. They enter little into this tale. I feel I need to take the green and the Firehead up early. I have planned on the last, but, well, the green is corrupting, which is his nature. True, I don't know. It just seems best. I don't want the 32 fighting with the children, and green is just a bad influence. Firehead is going for symmetry. The curse of the legions that they're laid with is working too well. I have leprosies. Younger brother is going everywhere in a garden state I could do without. That motion is magical. Keeps entering my mind as I bury them. They are, yes, now fixed in one spot, but that is viewed as bad reinforcement. The higher energy states froze as parking lots. Just as efforts so low energy. It seems to us that we can move as we will. It's amazing. Not a planet locked in some drill orbit, not a rock 20 feet underground, not even aware of the position of stars. The time remains the most important ingredient. Try making some or refining some. You've lost. It's relentless. It's Chronos, the destroyer of all. We waste it. It doesn't miss a beat. When we die, it marches on. I doubt that I am dead, imagining this to keep from getting bored. Things are changing. The curse was expected. The body attack that I'll soon learn of firsthand, but it's the other side effects. For one thing, I'm starting to write like this all the time. And there's the falling things. Itty-bitty things that time materialize and fall to the ground from thin air. Then it's not. Poof! Then there's a thing most I can't find. When they hit the ground, one I did was a jack-o'-lantern, one of the children's items. Eldritch creatures have begun visiting. They seem to find my suffering amusing. The oozing swords see infernal itch. The files. Their faint help is reminding me others will too be afflicted. The reward for unearthing the army's sails. Tattoos I never had before are appearing on my hide. Are they from a past life? They fade as quickly as they appear. 3 arms of wheelish barbs angular as if the sides of a cube unseen. A box full of woe. This shape keeps reappearing. The past seems now not only unchangeable, but also more unknown. Less referable, if you will. Harder to verify something happened. That is agreed upon. But what? Lies before me, yet spoken to await to. The present, not a refuge, just a place I am at. A place I'll only ever be. No one visits it for long, other than to verify I'm still here on suicide watch. I'm adrift in one way. Streetwise, the term would be wordless. Above ground, they were each unique. Obviously, now in the obscuring embrace of Earth, they are uniformly dark and incredible. Like before they were spawned, unchanging, non-existent, immortal, the sexual manner in which the golem army is generated is oddly non-mechanical. The earthen womb of the 9-year incubation, 9 decades, the going from the white in the warm dark to the light. These seem an almost anti-mechanical way of coming into being. Not born, but able to kill and die shadowy viral like border world existence. The mother ruse so elaborately fostered on the children. Golems and all of this seem a hint for perpetrating it. It's hinted they are more dangerous if they think they were born. Guns don't commit suicide. Like a strap-on gun designed to more the maim innocence out of hatred. You need to have a mother to be capable of that. Generated this, the golems are more like the undying protocell copies of one thing. They are just like it, but have never seen it. He who has commissioned the burials lets slip an interesting detail. I was explaining to him that the small dropping things had developed the ability to turn into bees. He found this most amusing. One event which manifested long enough for me to kill it. I took care not to get stung. He said the names of the divisions. Mother, children, enemies were all intensely bland and uncommon. Then came the time. It would have been harder, near impossible for people not to inadvertently beckon them, though near their earth's blanketed beds lies the human home. Oh, and it was clarified that the golems are laid not so much to think they are alive, more that they once were, so they'll be upset this calamity has bent all of them, envious now of those who are whole. Just as souls are independent of bodies, they really die at the same time, so bodies can more independently without souls. Was I supposed to say move? Whose soul is your clone? Be content to play as children with the things that litter this prison world, but delve not too deeply if at all some magics that control. You are told there are 3 levels man has not passed through. One before history of ideas and things confused. Next, a controlling shellness of regions. And last, an exalted reign of science. The will of man deconstructing matter to rearrange in images more fit. But of which age did the immortals and gods learn their craft in? Not the age of science, and they were incalculably old at the time of the religion's birth. The flaring mice of Mab, the croaking climate oozles, black and larger than cat's was. At night of late, I awakened to the twin sounds of the neighbor lady's screams of sexual abandon and a dog barking. At first I thought perhaps the lady's moanings awoke and aggravated the dog. Then the mattress back was awoken by the nocturnal dog barks and then, well, went to town. But not I realized the truth. She's fucking the dog. 13 black swords, each a noose remnant. One a torso, bloody, one the pelvis and legs are also reddened, the third the head and the length of spine impaled up its rectum. All in the morning's work. A huge skunk came to watch the proceeding. I retained eye contact with the beast. He stumped his hind feet and then continued on his way. The rocks kept getting larger. Slabs would be torched outside. I welcomed the coming rains to dull the myriad edges and scarred faces of the soil where I dug and moved the earth. More subtle are against plants with no noticeable meaning of the world where it meets the sky. Other places with huge piles of boulders, a carrying. Fear or waft. Is that the plan? To hope the mother confusing fun the 32 enemies with their own bruised souls. The zombic simulative blood spilling invokes furies? I'll be long dead when the plot opens. Ghoul that I am. With marks in their foreheads burned, they should pack. Grave advice this is. Yes, the latter has a place for as others offer. Other ghosts live as such by will of more elder ones. Some totem observers become for wild dwellers. They become a zorilla, a flittermouse, a wolf, a raven. One can't become a demon. They have always been formless, back when everything was. The more the saving power, the greater the danger. The Savior is a menace. Once you hear his words, he considers you bound to adhere to them. Write a spell here, head, or hell. Help to sink its negotiation and not fire forever. You just blink out if you've not a sponsor or a guild. You're apprentice too. Why do you serve for dinner, HMS? Wafer sin, wafer, flesh tongue, vampire drank, a zombie raised from the grave. 2 on Christmas Day itself. Wait, scratch that, on Christmas Eve, rather. Wilson yellow matching bags. 1 day, 3 buffalo coins, 1 with my age, number of swords, 60 in all, 3 real big, 3 medium, oh, and the 1 with the red sword, 1 with another's head, 1 with another's legs and pelvis, 1 with the rib cage and arms of another, all in 1 day as well. This that very map that plates the manes of horses in the night, fine bakes the elf locks and foul sluttish hair, which once untangled, much misfortune bodes. This is the lady loves. When maids lie on their backs, and the present someone learns them first to bear, making them women of good carriage. That is she. Ghosts want bodies so that there will be repercussions. If you kill them as a spirit, they can be extinguished, and well, with no corpse, there's no crime. Blinking out a non-material isn't easy. Try killing an idea, but doing so isn't a crime. The crime is generating ideas deemed dangerous thoughts. Crime is for harboring a bad idea. An outlaw contempt to the uncorporeal. You offer service as a shield. It's illegal to kill you. Not so with elusive shades. Born of the smokeless fire, shapeless, Jim of the dancing flesh. When they so choose, humans seem at once very dense and squishy socks of walking crap to them. But with their animal coming and erratically implements wills alternating between fear and often it's denial of their so near deaths, they're blinking out to become but remembrances of selves. And turn the last of the 60 today, where it's feeling. It's over in one way, my part of now at least. It's supposed to pour rain hard for the next few days, which is kinda good. Quickly the drops are resulting A-bitty plants, mass to size. Ones I've seen after a rain blend is in very, very well. I worry the coming currents will expose some corpses. But most are really fucking deep, with sandstones or subterranean flat granite lids on them. The 3 largest, 2 of them may not be deep enough. I fear still, though. One is severely off the beaten path. Anyone, no matter how migged take form. The shallowest have some rocks above. I think I should revisit them after the storm, but not really sure I can find them in one try. It's best to leave it in Mab's capable hands. I think I see now. Hear her role in this more clearly. It's her land. She's to guard them until whenever then the boss stuff is the familiar's plan doing. Mab and more. I don't know how to explain it. It's beyond me and my words, but it doesn't make it any less real. The familiar is a tenant of foreman of souls of Mab's land and I the self. Grew fond of her creatures. Tried to make their lives a little bit cheerier. Others about the same time. His 3 daughters, an aspect of the moon, Erbius, the night, knew I shouldn't wonder. Dream like it became at times. A disconnect from the real sleepers in the house below and the warm beds and the cold wind-wrapped hills. Bluish sky. Black laying the little skeletons to rest in the fucking dirt around them. A comforter of stone. Some saw those surroundings before going down. A few had been selected to lie in torment. I did know that I was hidden in that regard. Glad I'm not them. Sometimes she driveth o'er a soldier's neck, and then he dreams of cutting throats of breaches, ambushes, and Spanish blades. So it seemed those on that long nightmare ride are in part of Mab's rhyme. I shouldn't wonder. Still, the key phrase is to turn over and over again. As I said, her dreams are her own, that she shares. You have done as asked, and well as you could for the most part. They are now out of your hands. We know you have held back a few scraps. Toss them. Won't you like a good boy? We'll wait here. Much better. It is impossible to achieve the aim without sacrifice. There is no need to do more on the hill. The stage is set. The dead are cast. You are not the audience. I await the storm, not a participant. Rocks slide on their own. My role is over. The soil will settle. Time has come for me to move on. Seeds may sprout. Not down here. I don't know what will happen next. Who does? To me, this given the wonders of the world to keep the secrets of the immeasurable past. The end. I'm probably not going to edit this, actually, because I am too lazy to. If you made it this far, you get a cup of noodles. Thanks. Wow, 25 minutes. That was fast.